Hey, folks. Thanks for stopping by Kaisers Kastle. I appreciate it. Take a seat on my big orange couch and let's have a discussion tonight. what I what I have had planned for tonight, and it will happen. It's very simple. The ad Gillette ran. There's been I like to leave a lot of things to go for a while. Hey, how's it going, OG Larry? Reporting for duty. How's it going, brother? Here's the thing. Is it a coincidence? Hi, Jim Corrigan. Here's the thing. Everybody out there who saw that, did you forget the American Psychological Association? This is just a synopsis of what they said. The main thrust of the subsequent research is that traditional masculinity, marked by stoicism, competitiveness, and aggression, is on the whole harmful. Now, when you saw what you saw with Gillette commercials, and we can go down all the stereotypes, and we will. I'm going to break it down as easy as I can. Now, we all know P&G, Procter & Gamble, owns Gillette. I'm sure everybody out there has had a Gillette razor at one time or another. Now, they've seen no growth. They should be seeing growth at this time, or at least by this time. They should have gotten some payback for the millions. I can't remember how many millions of dollars, but they've seen nothing. Kind of amazing, isn't it? Well, the thing is, P&G thinks, and a lot of these companies do, the corporations, here's the fact. They all think, I hope you guys can hear me. If you can, give me a 5x5. If you can't, let me know so I can make adjustments. I'm thinking you can, but if you can't, let me know. Okay, thanks, Jim. I guess you can hear me. So here's the thing. Do you not see, this is where P&G fell down. They fell down on their dicks, actually. They did not look to see what the actual ramifications have been lately. This is the thing they do not want to look at lately. The yellow vest. If you think the yellow vest is about taxes, you're sadly mistaken. It's exactly about what you think it's about. It is completely about what is going on with the immigration invasion. That's a fact. I said this a long time ago. People who know me know I've been saying this. No, you're fine, brother. Original Larry, you're here, brother. You're not too early. I said this a long time ago. That it's not just the U.S. It's not just the people that think they run shit, okay? It is about the actual people, the middle class. And they've been being displaced purposefully in Europe and America. Open borders is a problem. But they don't want to admit it because they need to replace us. That's a fact. They're not going to replace us because, fortunately for all of us, there's more of us than there are of them. With that being said, we're just not going to go quietly into that good night. And they now, I think, realize this. And that's why you see Macron doing the things he's doing. All these people that are doing their bullshit, they're doing it because the media, and you notice I put that special media to it, they pulled the trigger too early. They've done this repeatedly. They made a sin out of people going to fight abortion, to fight against getting people hooked on drugs, i.e., we can just go down the list of the drugs they've been trying to push. And they want to make legal now certain drugs, gateway drugs. Look, I really don't care what drug you take into your body because it just gives me more air to breathe. I smoke and I drink too much, probably. But the fact remains is that at this time, you are seeing something that's never happened before, where governments are replacing and trying to destroy their own people. But you got pushback. People don't see. This is why the Trump hat means something. They know that means nationalism. Don't think that means white nationalism, black nationalism, whatever. That's not what it means. What it means is people are taking pride in their nations. They also are taking pride in their people. It doesn't matter if you take pride in your people. It doesn't mean you think less of others. And so what's happening is all these corporations jump on board, thinking they're going to gain. Look, Procter & Gamble, P&G, they're a worldwide conglomerate. And they thought, well, they'll suck up to this bunch of people, this bunch of people, this bunch of people. They're going to see growth. They didn't see that. And the issue is because they sell overpriced razors. Do you think there's not? Look, we can all buy Gillette foamy, all their little overpriced razors at $15 to $17 for 5 razor blades. Sure, they rope you in for the $5 with 2 razor blades. But we can buy something else that's not Gillette for less than. If we need beard oil, we can buy Cremo. If we need to shave, we can buy Barbasol. Look, I'm on a whole protest against everything, but the other thing I'm buying right now, and if Old Spice does this, I'll stop doing it. Old Spice, if I need pit shit for my underarms, if I need to buy anything else, aftershave, all that stuff. Old Spice, cool. They haven't gone over the deep end except for some of their funny commercials, and you guys know what I'm talking about. That's it. Cremo, I'll buy that for my beard. I'll keep doing that. I'll treat it with that. And guess what? Brill cream, a little dab will do ya. I'm putting that on my hair now because I'm growing it the fuck out. Because it's just a shame, you know. People out there have been doing and saying a lot of things. And when those kids from Covington got shit on so hard and doxxed, there's probably nobody that listens to me that hasn't been doxxed. And I have. I don't even give a shit. And probably none of you do either. It's ridiculous. And since when could you not have a conversation? Look, bullying. Okay, some people may want to say, oh, the white masculinity, it's so bad. Oh, my God. Guess what? Back in the 70s, 80s, when I was a young guy, I remember from the early 70s, if me and my cousin got into a fight, guess what? There'd be a man stepping in between us. I used that specific scene where everybody's like, boys will be boys. You know what? They said that shit. But I'll tell you what happened after that. An ass whooping to the person who was trying to start the shit. And that's where the first bully talk happened. Not at school, where teachers don't really, and they didn't back then either. Don't think this is new. They didn't give a shit about you. Because they don't have to. You're not their child. But at that barbecue with your uncle and your uncles, your grandparents, with your father. I never had a father, but I'm just saying, men that were there, they would have pulled that shit apart and then broke down on the person who did the bullshit. That's a fact. And, hey, Akima, how's it going, brother? Akimi, I'm sorry. I mispronounced your name, man. They would have pulled that shit apart and talked to the kid that was doing the punking, that was trying to be a bully. And then I'll never forget this. You know, being a bastard, I only had a mother. My twin sister remembers this as real as I do. This kid, I was a little punk bitch, mama's boy. I think I was, 4, maybe 3.5, 4. And this bigger kid came over and fucked with me playing with my little army men. And he decided he was going to do this, that, and the other and hit me and made me cry. And my mother locked that screen door and said, get out there and fucking make that kid eat dirt. I went out there and I beat the shit out of that little fucker and ran his face through the mud. That being said, that's what it's about. I had a hard, lovely woman who taught me at a very young age to stand up against anybody that tries to fuck with me. That's what's missing. Look, all these women trying to act like, the SJWs and the little, penis envy men or whatever the hell they are, thinking they're doing something good. No, they're making their nation less safe. If you think when little French boys were being taught to be dressing cute and looking sweet and being a good boy, and then the German boys after the First World War were being taught to box, being taught to fly gliders, being taught to shoot, being taught to do Boy Scout, Cub Scout shit, okay? If you think that's not the reason for the Second World War being so successful, then you're absolutely wrong. And Jim, you're exactly right. What you just said personifies this conversation. The SJWs not only have pussified Christianity, but they have made Christianity moot. And what I mean by that, look at New York. They have just allowed the day before birth, as long as it doesn't creep out of the little opening. You can puncture the skull and suck out the brains and pull it right out. And it's not a life, it's just tissue. It's a flippin' human being. Not only have we made human beings mean nothing and matter nothing, we have failed. And I'm talking, when I say we, I'm not talking to you young men. No. I'm 50. I failed. I know these words go out, and I know people hear them. A lot of people want to put stuff on me that this is that and the other. But the fact remains, we live in America, and we have a specific American culture. Yes. They can say, well, white patriarchy. You know what? Americans built this flipping country. I saw a funny meme where the kid is being basically ground pounded by the guy who, oh, yeah. Well, you know what? If Jim just has his question, I'm gonna bring it up for you folks, but I'm gonna go back to where I was going. What if the baby accidentally comes out all the way during the abortion procedure? This would be a good question to troll them with. It's not, because it happened in Illinois. And there's a nurse, you guys can look this up on the internet, where she actually gives her duty. You know what she had to do? She had to put it in a closet, and it was at Michelle Obama's hospital that she was running. Michelle Obama was on the board of directors of, I can't remember what hospital, so I'm not going to lie and act like I do, but you can find the video somewhere, and had to make it starve to death in a closet. And she said she felt so guilty, she kept going back to it, but she was not allowed to give it food. She was not allowed to, milk. She was not allowed to do anything to ease it. So she just kept putting blankets over it until it became cold and still. So trolling them with this stuff means nothing, because they've already given themselves to satanic ritual. Anyways, I don't want to get into that. But going back to what I was saying, here's the real deal on the pussification of Christianity and Americanism and being an American. We have failed you because we didn't stand up when we had the numbers. And honestly, this will sound funny to you guys because I know a lot of you guys like the boomer meme. But if this would have happened when World War II, Korean War veterans were around and they were in mass numbers, here's the thing that freaks them out about America, and that's why they're going for the gun grab too, is that now the Gulf War, my era, because I'm not a millennial, I'm a Gen Xer, and the new Gulf War, Iraq and Afghanistan, we have a lot of veterans that are trained, and they worry about certain things, i.e., how many people are force multipliers, how many people can train people. This is really what it's about. And without a lot of people to train people in France and in Germany, if you don't think Germany's having issues, you're exactly wrong. There's people on my page from Germany that I talk to regularly. Europa, it's not lost, but it's near there, and they know it. And the yellow vest is not about taxes. It's about the invasion. Why do you think they're still trying to not build that wall? Because they want to replace us so that they can actually say democratically we won the vote. Yeah, democratically, illegally. Look at what happened in Texas. Anywhere from 90... look, go to a liberals page if you don't believe me on YouTube, folks. Tim Pool did an article. Anywhere from 98,000 to 58,000 illegals voted in the last couple elections. And it's been proven because they actually went and checked people's stuff. Same thing before this last election. Ohio had John Husted, Secretary of State, went through the rolls. I'm sure my mother and my mother's boyfriend, I call him my stepdad, but he's not my stepdad, I'm sure they both voted for Democrats when they never voted for a Democrat in their life. So here's the issue that you see, is that he pulled everybody off the rolls that had not voted for years and sent letters to people saying you need to re-register, come down to your voting precinct and register. Motor Voter was a scam that was done by the Clintons to get more fraudulent people on the rolls. How does democracy work? More people voting. How does democracy get polluted? More people that aren't eligible to vote, voting 3, 4, and 5 times. If you doubt that, you can go to Cincinnati under, I think it was Obama's first election, where some woman was convicted of voting 12 times, but I don't think she got a day in jail. I think she got a fine or something, and I'm sure that was paid for by Soros. So you just look at these things, and you see them. There's much fuckery afoot. Now, going back to the corporatocracy. Notice why Google, YouTube, which platform I am using right now, why is it that they're starting to throw people off that are conservative? Conservative, look, I used to hate that term because what have they conserved? Including me. That was the question I asked for me. Well, I think we actually have a generation that are true conservatives, that are trying to conserve something, a way of life, that understand the first world. Look, it's as simple as this, and I'm going to boil it down to this. If I dump dirty water into clean water, that clean water is no longer clean. So if I pollute water with some dirt, it's all dirty, right? You can't drink it now. Okay, so if you bring people with shitty ideas, ideologies, and I'm talking communists too, I'm not just talking Muslims, I've worked in Muslim areas. I have friends who are Muslims. There may be a few communists I know that I think are decent people. Very few. But I also know they're not a threat. But when you see certain things happening and you understand it, and so how can you bring the same analogy? How can you bring the second and third world into a first world nation and expect it to stay first world? You can't. That's just a fact. It's a fact of nature, a force of nature. And their fear is the pushback. That's why it's not just the French police that are going out there and hurting the French people. That's a fact. It's EU thugs. The French don't have enough police. That would be like saying the American police could hold down mass riots in all of America. They couldn't. Look, policing, I'm going to give you a big secret, being as I was a former federal cop. You know how police get their authority? Because we give it to them. We willingly let them do their jobs. Because in the best interest of us all, it is the interest for us to let them do their jobs. If they start destroying us, how soon would that interest change? And when people are talking sticky, wet, masturbational fantasies about revolution and this, that, and the other, I know they don't know what they're talking about because I've seen pre-failed states, failed states as they're falling, and also trying to rebuild a state, a nation state. And so you really don't know what you're talking about when you talk about that, because it's not just you, man. It's your wife. It's your children that may not be grown that are going to suffer the problems because you'll be out doing your thing, or you got to leave the house sometime. If you decide, screw it, I'm not going to be a cop no more, I'm going to live in my house, you got to go get groceries. You got to do something. You got to go get water, kill a deer. Think about it, guys and gals. This is reality talking to you. Well, I'll tell you what's on the horizon in the next 10 years. We either fix it or it's exactly in that nightmare scenario. I probably won't live to see it. My son will. See, that's the thing that flips the script for everybody, is you want your child to always have a better life than you did. I've had a better life than my mother did, and I'm a bastard. I wasn't supposed to. But guess what? Every one of you can. So it's up to you. It's up to me. It's up to all of us. Like I said, more speech, not less speech. The one thing I honestly ask people to do, and I mean it, and I know it's fun to troll with, and it's fun to have good times. I've been on troll rage just like everybody. Presentation. And presentation means, I'm not talking about if somebody calls you a fascist, a Nazi, or whatever. I believe in the adage of, okay, they just called me that. They're a moron. So I'm going to say, no, I'm not a neo-Nazi. I'm not a neo-fascist. I'm an ardent Nazi or an ardent fascist, just because it shuts their conversation down. They can't believe you just said it. And it looks really funny if you're being videoed and saying it. And you laugh at them because they're morons. But here's the problem. Here's the actual problem. When you're doing it online, and I know everybody's nobody, I happen to use my real name, and I don't really care because I'm 50. What are they going to do to me? Put me in prison? Okay, whatever. I got 10 years max maybe. Then I'll fucking die of old age. Fuck them. Nobody in my family lives past 60. So, here's the deal. It is fun in the short term, but you have to think long term. You have to think about changing minds, changing thoughts. There are great arguments. Those arguments need to be kept going. I'm not saying hide. I'm not saying any of that shit. And actually, I encourage people to use their, hey, how's it going there, Pirate Radio Podcast? I actually encourage people to use their real names. Because it's something that has to happen. These corporations, they took us for granted, including the people we scrape our faces with, the shaving company. And the people who make soap. Buy Lever soap. Fuck P&G. Procter & Gamble, all their project. All their products. Throw them out. Don't use them. Buy Lever soap. Hell, go back to wet shaving in the shower or the bath. That's right. You're right, Akimi. Human revolution is on the rise, and we are waking up. We woke up too early. That's the problem. Folks, I'm telling you, I always tell you guys this. Like, comment, and share. Yeah, exactly. Online privacy is, even in a relative sense, is extremely practical. It is, but the thing is, well, I'm not going to argue with you on this. And you know what I mean when I say this. There is something to be said about online privacy, but there's also something when you get to a certain age, you're just like, look, where's my credibility? So it's something, it's really tenuous. It's something that all of us have to think on and be real with. But the more important part is not about yourself. It's not about myself. And by the way, everybody who's listening to me, please be aware that we have, I also am on World Pirate Radio Podcast Network, WPRPN. And remember, Tuesday comes, Wednesdays lead the way. And what that means is it'll be Wednesday in Korea when Tuesday comes. And that Tuesday evening, I believe 11 o'clock East Coast time, will be the first inaugural, this Tuesday, will be the first inaugural WPRPN News. And so you will hear me and Jaffe Ryder, a great guy. And we have a lot to talk about. But this one thing I wanted to do with my peeps first and tell you, that's where my goals are at now. The corporations, the media, academia, certain governmental agencies, and NGOs. Oh, that's going to be my point of interest. And I've kept my mouth shut for a little while, and I'm about to unseal it. So, yes, please do me a favor, like, comment, and share with everybody you know this one, because this one's important. And then look forward to, if you want to, you don't have to. I don't have a gun to any of your heads. And you can leave and go as you please, and I want you to. You know, I like a small page. I really do. But please share this out. Like, comment, share. And also follow me over with World Pirate Podcast Radio Network. I'm also on their page there. They have a whole thing they do there. You will hear all about it on Tuesday. And we'll have a great time this Tuesday. So, and I am going to introduce my number on my next podcast. It'll probably be after WPRPN on Tuesday. And I want to take call-ins. And you guys will be welcome to call in. Just make sure to let me know your name when you first call in. let everybody know that you're a point to the sword. You're one of the many points of the sword points. And feel free to stop on by and give me your 2 cents. I do ask you because it's a small page. I don't want to lose it because it's the only thing I got. I'm trying to leave my thoughts for my son, and if I ever have grandchildren, for them to always be able to come back and look on. I guess a log. That's why I started this thing. So please don't drop certain words. And it's not saying I don't want you to. I want you to speak freely, but we all know what YouTube's doing, and I don't have an alternative stream source at this time. So I'm just asking you to please, watch the derogatory stuff. And it's okay with me. I don't give a shit. But you know how the SJWs are. They'll report it and get my stream pulled down. I believe in more speech, not less speech. That's honestly what I believe. That's why I interviewed Adam. Why am I mind dumping his name now? Adam. Oh, man, I can't believe I'm mind dumping his name. Kokesh. Because I disagreed with some of the stuff. But, I had to have somebody posting, and that's why I had to slow roll my comments, and I have to actually decide whether I'm going to keep them, and I really hate doing that. I wanted everybody's questions to always show, but there was, on that one, somebody spurged, and that's okay. I still, whoever that guy is, I don't hate on him, but he got triggered, whatever. If you get triggered that easily, I guess that's a problem. Kokesh was interesting. You can listen to it and you'll hear, because I did ask him about that. But that's his thing, so I don't really want to get into that. Anyways, I'm going to outro. Look forward to seeing you guys on Tuesday. Now, the first song that I played was Axe Marks the Spot from Axion's Ghost. And the one that I always leave with, Inside Enemy Headquarters. And here it goes.